beloved soul, pause for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary, and it is not meant for everyone. It is meant for you. Right now, in this very second, Jesus is whispering your name. Not someone else's, not a distant crowd, but yours. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is a divine interruption breaking through the noise of your life. Heaven has turned its full attention toward you, and something urgent has been released into the spirit realm. A final alert hath been issued, and you were chosen to hear it. There is a reason you did not scroll past this. There is a reason your heart feels a sudden pull, a strange stillness, or even a quiet unease. That feeling is not random. It is recognition. Deep within your spirit, something is awakening because it remembers truth. Jesus is calling you, not softly as before, but with a whisper that carries the weight of eternity. And that whisper is carrying your name like a flame that refuses to go out. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of this moment, not as a distant figure, but as a guardian who has been closer than you ever realized. He has seen the battles you didn't know you were fighting. He has stood between you and things that were meant to break you. There were moments you called luck, moments you brushed off as coincidence, but they were not. They were interventions. They were protection. They were coverings placed over your life when you didn't even know you needed them. But listen carefully, because this is where everything shifts. This message is not just about comfort. It is about urgency. Heaven does not issue a final alert without reason. Something is changing. The covering that has surrounded you, quietly, faithfully, invisibly, has reached a critical point. Archangel Michael himself is signaling that this may be the last time you are covered in the way you have been. Not because you are abandoned, but because you are being called to awaken. There is something hidden around you, something you have not fully seen yet. It may be a truth, a person, a situation, or even a pattern in your life that has stayed in the shadows. And now, that shadow is beginning to crack. The whisper of Jesus is not just calling your name. It is trying to prepare you for what is about to be revealed. Because when it comes, it will not be small. It will shift how you see everything. You may feel a sudden tension in your spirit right now. A mix of fear, curiosity, and deep knowing. That is not confusion. That is confirmation. You are standing at the edge of a moment that does not come twice. A moment where heaven leans in close, where the veil feels thinner, where the call becomes impossible to ignore. This is not about religion. This is not about routine prayers or empty words. This is about connection. Real, raw, undeniable connection between you and the divine. Jesus is not whispering your name to scare you. He is whispering because time is sensitive. Because something within you must respond. Because there is still a window open, but it will not remain open forever. And as Archangel Michael watches, sword ready, presence steady, he is not stepping back, but he is waiting. Waiting for you to recognize this moment. Waiting for you to understand that protection is not meant to make you passive. It is meant to prepare you. To hear this clear, this is your moment of awareness. Your moment of truth. Your moment to realize that you are not alone. You have never been alone. But now, you are being called to step forward. Because the whisper has already begun and it is calling your name. There are moments in life that pass quietly, unnoticed, like ordinary seconds slipping through your hands. And then there are moments like this, moments that carry weight, purpose, and divine intention. This is one of those moments. Right now, heaven has fixed its gaze upon you in a way that is not casual, not distant, but deeply intentional. This is not something that happens every day. This is alignment, This is timing. This is a spiritual intersection where your life meets a higher calling. You may be wondering, why me? Why now? And that question itself is part of the awakening. Because nothing about this is accidental. Out of countless people, out of endless noise and distractions, you were drawn here. Something guided you, something unseen but powerful. That pull you felt was not curiosity, it was divine direction. Jesus did not whisper your name into the void. He whispered it because you were meant to hear it at this exact point in your life. There has been a build-up, even if you did not notice it. Small events, subtle changes, moments of reflection, unexplained emotions. These were not random. They were signaled. Heaven has been preparing you, layer by layer, for this exact encounter. And now, the preparation has reached a point where it can no longer remain hidden. What was once quiet is becoming louder. What was once subtle is becoming undeniable. Archangel Michael stands not only as a protector, but as a witness to this shift. He has seen the path behind you, the struggles, the near losses, the silent battles you fought when no one else was watching. And he also sees the path ahead, the one that is beginning to unfold right now. That path is not fixed. It is responsive. It is shaped by your awareness, your choices, and your willingness to listen. There is a reason this message carries urgency. When heaven turns its attention in this way, it signals that something is approaching, something that requires your awareness. It may not be visible yet, but it is already in motion. Like a storm forming beyond the horizon, its presence is real even before it arrives. And you are being warned not to create fear, but to awaken your perception. You have been covered, protected, and guided more than you realize. There were times when things should have gone wrong, but they did. Times when you were close to making a decision that could have led you down a darker path, but something stopped you. A delay, a distraction, a sudden change of heart. Those moments were not coincidences. They were divine interventions, carefully placed in your journey. But here is the truth that cannot be softened. Protection without awareness can only last for so long. There comes a moment when you are no longer meant to be carried, but to stand. And this is that moment. Heaven is not just watching you. Heaven is calling you to participate, to become aware of what has been hidden, to recognize what is shifting around you. You may start to notice things differently after this. Conversations may feel heavier. Certain people may reveal sides of themselves you hadn't seen before. Situations that once felt normal may suddenly feel out of place. This is not your imagination. This is clarity beginning to take form. This is what happens when spiritual awareness starts to rise. Jesus is not whispering your name simply to comfort you. He is whispering because something within you is ready to respond, ready to wake up, ready to step into a deeper understanding of your life and your purpose. And Archangel Michael is not stepping away, but his role is changing. From silent protector to visible guide, from unseen shield to present warning. This moment is not about fear. It is about realization. It is about understanding that your life is not drifting aimlessly. It is being guided, watched, and now directly addressed. You are standing in a moment where heaven has leaned in closer than ever before. And the question is no longer whether you hear the whisper. The question is, will you respond? Listen closely, because what you are about to understand may change how you see your entire life. There has been a protection over you, real, powerful, and constant, and you did not even realize how many times it saved you. This was not luck. This was not chance. This was the covering of heaven, assigned specifically to you, moving silently through moments you thought were ordinary. Think back, there were times when something almost went wrong, but at the last second, it didn't. Times when you were delayed for no reason, when plans suddenly changed, when something inside you told you to pause, to step back, to not go forward. At the time, it may have felt frustrating, confusing, even inconvenient. But now, look again. What if those moments were not obstacles but protection? Archangel Michael has stood closer to your life than you can imagine. Not in a distant, symbolic way, but in a real, active presence. He has intercepted things you never saw coming. He has stood between you and situations that could have broken you, distracted you, or pulled you away from your purpose. While you were living your daily life, unaware, there was a spiritual battle unfolding around you, and you were being defended. There were words spoken behind your back that never reached you. There were intentions formed against you that never succeeded. There were paths you almost walked down that would have led you into confusion or pain, but something redirected you. That something was not random. That was covering. That was divine intervention stepping in at the exact moment it was needed. And yet here is the truth that carries weight. This level of protection was never meant to last without your awareness. It was a season, a grace period, a shield placed over you while you were still learning, still growing, still unaware of the deeper realities around your life. But now, that season is shifting. Not because you are being abandoned, but because you are being awakened. Archangel Michael is not leaving you. Understand this clearly. His presence does not disappear, but the way he operates in your life is changing. There is a difference between being protected without knowing and being protected while fully aware. And heaven is calling you into awareness now, because something is approaching that requires your participation. This is why Jesus is whispering your name with urgency. Not to frighten you, but to prepare you. Because the protection you had before was covering things you could not yet see. But what is coming next will require you to see clearly, and discern, to recognize what is true and what is not, to understand who and what is aligned with your purpose, and who is not. You may already feel it, a subtle shift, a sense that things are not quite the same as they used to be. As certain people feel different, that certain environments feel heavier or unclear. That inner voice becoming stronger, almost like it is trying to guide you more directly than before. This is not your imagination. This is the beginning of awareness. And awareness changes everything. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you recognize truth, you cannot return to ignorance. And that is why this moment matters so deeply. You are being moved from a place of silent protection into a place of conscious alignment. But here is the tension: if you ignore this call, if you dismiss this awakening, if you choose to stay unaware, then you step outside of the covering that was once shielding you without effort. Not because heaven has turned away, but because you were invited to step forward, and you chose not to. This is why this message carries urgency, because you are not being left alone. You are being called higher. Archangel Michael still stands near. His presence is still strong, but now he is no longer just shielding you from what you cannot see. He is signaling you to open your eyes, to recognize, to prepare, to step into the awareness that had been waiting for you all along. So if something inside you is stirring right now, if you feel that quiet confirmation deep within your spirit, do not ignore it. Type "I am covered but now I see" in the comments if this message is reaching you. Blessing code 444 has just been released over your life. And as this truth settles into your spirit, Understand this: when you respond to a divine call like this, you are not just receiving, you are also becoming a vessel for others to receive. When you sow into the spreading of messages like this, you become part of the light, reaching someone who is still in darkness, someone who needs this exact awakening. The Lord says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse, it is a living promise being spoken over you right now. As you feel this stirring in your heart, let it move you into action. Support this mission through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code placed for you. This is your moment to sow into something eternal. I declare that as you give, doors will open that no one can shut, that protection will multiply in your life, that clarity will increase, that blessings will begin to flow in ways you did not expect. Step into this moment. Act on what you feel, and watch what heaven releases in return. Pay attention now, because what once seemed small and unimportant is beginning to reveal a deeper meaning. The signs were always there, quietly placed along your path, gently trying to get your attention. But life moves fast, distractions are constant, and it is easy to overlook what does not immediately demand your focus. Yet Jesus has been speaking to you long before this moment, just not in ways you expected. Think about the times when something felt off, but you ignored it. A conversation that left you uneasy. A situation that did not sit right in your spirit. A person whose words sounded good, but something inside you whispered caution. Those moments were not random feelings. That was guidance. That was the whisper of truth trying to rise above the noise. There were also patterns, subtle, repeating patterns, that you may have dismissed. Doors that kept closing no matter how hard you tried. Delays that frustrated you. Plans that fell apart just when they seemed certain. You may have seen these as setbacks, even disappointments. But now, look deeper. What if those closed doors were not rejection but redirection? What if those delays were not obstacles but protection? Jesus does not always speak in loud, undeniable ways. Often, his voice comes as a quiet knowing, a pause, a hesitation, a nudge that something is not aligned. But when that voice is ignored too many times, when the signs are overlooked again and again, the message becomes stronger. Not because he wants to overwhelm you, but because he refuses to let you walk blindly into something that could harm your purpose. And this is where you are now. The whisper has become clearer. The signs are becoming impossible to ignore. Things that once felt normal are now standing out. You may find yourself questioning situations you once accepted without thought. You may begin to see inconsistencies in people, in environments, even within your own habits. This is not confusion. This is clarity breaking through. Archangel Michael had been watching these signs unfold in your life. He has seen how close you came to recognizing them and how often you brushed them aside. Not out of weakness, but out of unawareness. But now, the time for subtlety is ending. The signs are no longer meant to be gentle suggestions. They are becoming direct warnings. You may feel it as a growing tension within you, a sense that something needs to change, that something is not right, even if you cannot fully explain why. This tension is not meant to disturb you, it is meant to awaken you. It is the signal that your spirit is beginning to align with truth, even if your mind is still catching up. Look at your recent experiences. Have you noticed repeated frustrations in the same area of your life? Have you encountered the same type of challenge over and over again, just in different forms? That is not coincidence. It is a pattern trying to reveal something, a message that has been knocking, waiting for you to finally open the door and understand. And then there are the moments of silence, the moments when everything seems still, when you feel disconnected or unsure. Even those moments carry meaning, because in silence, the distractions fall away, and what remains is truth. It is in those quiet spaces that Jesus often speaks the clearest, not through noise, but through stillness. But here is what you must understand. Signs are only powerful if they are recognized. A warning only protects you if you listen to it. And guidance only leads you if you are willing to follow. This is why this moment matters so deeply. Because the signs you once missed are now being brought back into your awareness. Not to overwhelm you with regret, but to give you clarity moving forward. You are being shown that nothing in your life has been random. That every nudge, every pause, every redirection carrying meaning. And now, you are no longer in a place where you can say you did not know. Jesus is making it clear. Archangel Michael is standing watch. The signs are no longer hidden. So as you move forward from this moment, do not ignore what you feel. Do not dismiss the quiet voice within you. Do not overlook the patterns that are unfolding right in front of you. Because what you choose to recognize now will determine what you walk into next. What you are about to understand may feel intense, but it is necessary. There is more happening around your life than what your eyes can see. Beneath the surface of your daily routine, beyond conversations and circumstances, there is a spiritual battle unfolding, and whether you realized it or not, you have been standing in the center of it. This is not meant to create fear. It is meant to reveal truth. Because every life that carries purpose also attracts resistance. Every calling draws opposition. And your life, yes, your life, has been marked with a purpose that goes deeper than what you have fully realized. That is why certain struggles have followed you. That is why some things have felt harder than they should have been. It was never random. It was never meaningless. There have been forces working quietly, trying to distract you, delay you, confuse you, and pull you away from your path. Not always in obvious ways, but through subtle influence. Through doubt that appeared suddenly. Through decisions that seemed small but carried long-term impact. Through people who entered your life at just the wrong time. Through moments when you almost lost direction. But here is what you must hold on to. While there had been opposition, there has also been protection. Archangel Michael has not been distant during these battles. He has been present, active, and unwavering. While you were navigating situations without full awareness, he was standing between you and what could have overwhelmed you. He was intercepting what you never saw. He was holding back what could have reached you. There were moments when the pressure should have broken you, but it didn't. Moments when confusion should have consumed you, but somehow, you found clarity just in time. Moments when you felt like giving up, but something within you refused to let you fall completely. That something was not just your strength, that was protection. But the nature of this battle is now shifting, because the more you awaken, the more aware you become, the more intentional your life becomes, the battlefield changes. It is no longer about unseen protection alone. It becomes about conscious participation, about recognizing what is aligned with your purpose and what is not. You may begin to notice this more clearly now. Certain environments may start to feel draining, even if they once felt normal. Certain people may begin to reveal sides of themselves that no longer sit right with your spirit. Situations that you once tolerated may now feel impossible to ignore. This is not because everything around you suddenly changed. It is because you are changing. And as you change, the battle becomes more visible. Archangel Michael is still with you, but his role is evolving in your life. He is not just shielding you anymore. He is guiding you. He is strengthening your awareness so that you can recognize what is happening around you and make decisions that align with truth. Because protection alone is not the final goal. Alignment is. There is a difference between being protected from harm and being positioned for purpose. And right now, you are being moved toward positioning, toward clarity, toward understanding what belongs in your life and what does not. This is why some things may feel uncomfortable, because growth is rarely comfortable. Awareness can feel heavy at first. Seeing things clearly can bring emotions you were not expecting. But this is part of the process. You are not being attacked without defense. You are being awakened with support. But here is the reality you cannot ignore. Every battle requires a response. Silence is a choice. Inaction is a decision. And staying unaware is no longer an option that comes without consequence. You are being called to stand, not in fear, but in awareness. Not in confusion, but in clarity. Jesus is not whispering your name without reason. He is calling you into a place where you begin to understand what is happening, where you no longer walk blindly, where you no longer ignore what your spirit is trying to show you. And Archangel Michael stands ready, not just to defend you, but to walk with you as you step into this awareness. So do not shrink back from what you are beginning to see. Do not dismiss the shifts happening within you, because this battle is not here to defeat you. It is here to reveal you. And what is being revealed right now is the strength, the awareness, and the purpose that has been inside you all along. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when the tone changes, when what was once gentle becomes direct, when what was once patient becomes urgent. This is that moment in your life. This is why this message is not being called a reminder, not a suggestion, not a passing thought, but a final alert. Understand this clearly, heaven, and not rush without reason. For a long time, you have been given space. Space to grow, to make choices, to learn through experience. Space to ignore certain nudges, to overlook certain signs, to walk paths that were not fully aligned. And even in that space, you were still protected. You were still guided, even when you were not fully aware of it. That is the depth of divine patience. But patience is not endless in the way you may think. There comes a point where delay no longer serves your growth. A point where continued silence would allow you to drift further from what you are meant to become. And when that point is reached, the message changes. It becomes clear, direct, unavoidable. This is that shift. The phrase "final alert" is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you. It is heaven's way of saying that you are standing at a threshold, a line between what has been and what is about to unfold. And once that line is crossed, things will not remain the same. There are decisions in your life right now that carry more weight than you realize. Choices that may seem small on the surface but are connected to larger outcomes. Directions that may feel comfortable but are quietly leading you away from alignment. And heaven is stepping in now to make sure you are aware before those paths become fixed. Archangel Michael understands the seriousness of this moment. He has stood in patience with you, allowing you to move, to choose, to learn. But now, even he signals that the time for passive protection is ending. Not because you are losing support, but because you are being called to step into responsibility. This is where many people hesitate, because awareness brings responsibility, and responsibility requires action. It is easier to remain in a place where everything is handled for you, where protection is automatic, where guidance is subtle enough to ignore. But growth does not happen there. Purpose does not unfold there. and you were never meant to stay in that place forever. You were meant to awaken. This is why this alert feels different. You may feel a sense of pressure, not overwhelming, but present. A sense that something is asking for your attention now, not later. That something within you is being stirred to respond. That is not anxiety. That is urgency with purpose. There is something ahead that requires clarity. A situation, a revelation, a decision that will not wait for you to be fully comfortable. And if you enter that moment without awareness, without alignment, you risk walking into confusion instead of clarity. This is why the alert has been issued now, before that moment arrives. Jesus is not whispering your name to bring fear into your heart. He is whispering because he sees what is ahead. He knows what is approaching. And he is giving you the opportunity to be prepared rather than surprised. And preparation begins with recognition. Recognizing that your life is not that your path is not random. That where you are right now is a point of decision, not just continuation. That what you choose from here carries consequences that reach further than you can currently see. But here is the hope within this urgency: you are not too late. If you were, this message would not have reached you. The very fact that you are hearing this means there is still time, still space, still opportunity to respond, to shift, to align. But that window is not meant to remain open indefinitely. It is meant to be entered. Archangel Michael stands not as a barrier, but as a witness, watching to see how you respond to this moment. Ready to guide, ready to strengthen, but no longer stepping in without your awareness. So take this seriously, not with fear, but with clarity. This is your final alert, not because something is ending, but because something is about to begin. And what begins next depends on what you choose now. There is something you must be prepared for, something that has been hidden in plain sight, something that has quietly existed around you while you continued forward without fully seeing it. And now, that hidden layer is beginning to break open. This is not speculation. This is not imagination. This is revelation that has been set in motion, and it will not remain concealed for much longer. The truth is, not everyone around you has been aligned with your path. There has been a presence, whether a person, a situation, or even a repeated pattern, that has not been what it appeared to be. It may have seemed supportive, harmless, or even beneficial at times. But beneath the surface, something hath been out of alignment. Something has been quietly working against your growth, your clarity, or your peace. You were not meant to see it before, because if you had seen it too early, you may not have been ready to handle it. You may have reacted from emotion instead of understanding. You may have made decisions that would have disrupted your own progress. So for a time, it remained hidden, not to deceive you, but to prepare you. But now, that time is ending. Jesus is whispering your name because what is about to be revealed will require your awareness. It will require your calm, your clarity, and your strength. Because when truth surfaces, it does not always arrive gently. Sometimes it shakes what you thought was stable. Sometimes it challenges what you believed was certain. And that is why this moment matters. Archangel Michael has already seen what is coming. He has watched this situation unfold from a place beyond what you can currently perceive. He knows the truth that is about to rise, and he is standing ready, not to fight this battle for you, but to stand with you as you face it. You may begin to notice changes before the full truth is revealed. A shift in someone's behavior, words that no longer match actions, energy that feels different, even if nothing obvious has happened yet. These are the early cracks in the surface, the first signs that what was hidden is beginning to come into the light. Do not ignore these signs, because this time they are not subtle suggestions. They are confirmations. There may be someone in your life who has been wearing a mask, not necessarily in a dramatic or obvious way, but in a way that kept you from seeing their true intentions. It could be someone close or someone who recently entered your space. It could even be something within your own habits or choices that you have not fully acknowledged. But whatever it is, it cannot remain hidden any longer. Truth has a way of surfacing when the time is right, and the time is right now. You may feel a mixture of emotions as this begins to unfold. Confusion, disappointment, even a sense of betrayal. That is natural, because when something you trusted begins to reveal a different side, it can feel unsettling. But do not let emotion cloud your clarity, because this revelation is not here to harm you. It is here to free you. Free you from what you did not see. Free you from what was quietly misaligned. Free you from what could have held you back if it remained hidden any longer. Archangel Michael is not bringing this to your attention to create conflict. He is bringing it to your awareness so that you can make a clear, grounded decision. So that you can step away from what does not serve your purpose and move toward what does. This is where your awareness becomes powerful. Because once truth is revealed, you are no longer in the dark. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer moving blindly. You are choosing with understanding. And that changes everything. So when this truth comes, and it will, do not resist it. Do not deny it. Do not try to return to what felt comfortable before. Stand in it. See it for what it is. And trust that what is being removed from your life is not a loss, it is a release. A necessary clearing that makes space for something greater, something real, something aligned with who you are becoming. Jesus is whispering your name not just to warn you, but to prepare you for this moment of clarity. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, steady and unwavering, as the truth steps out of the shadows and into the light. There comes a moment when everything you have heard, everything you have felt, and everything that has been revealed begins to converge into a single point, a decision. Not a casual choice, not something you can delay or ignore, but a moment where your response determines the direction of what comes next. You are standing in that moment now. Up until this point, much had been done for you. Protection was placed over you. Signs were given to you. Warnings were sent your way. Truth has begun to reveal itself. But now, the responsibility shifts. And now, it is no longer about what has been done around you. It is about what you will do from here. This is where your path divides. On one side is awareness, alignment, and clarity. A path where you choose to listen to what has been revealed, to trust the whisper that has been calling your name, and to move forward with intention. This path may not always feel easy, but it will feel right. It will carry a sense of direction, a quiet strength, and a deeper connection to your purpose. On the other side is avoidance, the choice to ignore what you have seen, to dismiss what you have felt, to continue as if nothing has changed. This path may feel comfortable at first because it allows you to stay within what is familiar. But comfort without truth leads to confusion, and confusion leads to disconnection. This is why this decision matters so deeply. Because once truth had been revealed, you cannot return to the same level of unawareness. You can try to ignore it, but it will remain within you, creating a quiet tension that does not go away. That tension is not meant to disturb you. It is meant to remind you that you have seen something real. Archangel Michael is standing at this point with you, not to force your decision, but to witness it. His presence is steady, his guidance is available, but he will not choose for you. because this moment is yours. Jesus is still whispering your name, not with pressure, but with invitation. An invitation to step forward into alignment, to choose clarity over confusion, to choose awareness over avoidance, to choose purpose over comfort. You may feel hesitation. That is natural. Decisions that carry weight often come with uncertainty. You may wonder what will happen if you choose to step forward. You may question whether you are ready. But understand this: readiness does not come before the decision. It comes through the decision. You become ready by choosing. You grow into strength by stepping into it. And you gain clarity by acting on what you already know. This is not about having every answer. This is about responding to what has already been revealed to you. Because deep within you, there is already a knowing, a quiet voice that recognizes truth when it sees it, a sense that something is shifting, that something is asking for your attention, that something is calling you to move. That voice is not confusion. That voice is guidance. And it has brought you to this exact moment. So now, the question is simple, but powerful. What will you choose? Will you step into the awareness that has been opened to you? Will you trust the whisper that has called your name? Will you move forward with clarity, even if it means leaving behind what no longer aligns? Or will you turn away, choosing familiarity over truth, comfort over growth? This is the decision that will shape what comes next. Because your path is not fixed. It responds to you. And right now, it is waiting. Type "I choose alignment" in the comments if you are ready to step forward. Blessing code 888 has now been activated over your life. And as you stand in this moment of decision, understand that your response does not just affect you, it creates a ripple. When you choose alignment, you become part of something greater. You help carry this message further, reaching someone else who is standing at their own moment of awakening. The Lord declares, "Those who sow in faith shall reap in abundance." This is your moment to act in faith, not just in your decision, but in your giving. If this message has stirred something within you, do not let that moment pass. Support this mission through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, also available through the QR code placed for you. As you give, you are not losing, you are planting. Planting into something that multiplies, something that reaches beyond what you can see. And I declare that as you sow, clarity will increase in your life, protection will deepen, and doors that were once closed will begin to open. Do not hesitate. Step forward. Act now. And watch how heaven responds to your obedience. When you choose to respond, truly respond, to what has been placed before you, something powerful begins to shift. Not always in loud, dramatic ways at first, but in quiet, undeniable alignment. It is like stepping into a current that was already flowing, but now you are moving with it instead of against it. This is what happens when you answer the call. The first thing you will notice is clarity. Things that once felt confusing will begin to make sense. Situations that once seemed complicated will start to reveal their true nature. You will begin to see people, choices, and circumstances for what they truly are. Not through emotion, not through assumption, but through understanding. This clarity is not something you force. It is something that unfolds naturally when you align with truth. Jesus does not call your name without offering direction. When you respond, you begin to experience that direction in a way that is personal and precise. You may feel guided to step away from something that once felt important. You may feel drawn toward something that you had not considered before. These movements may not always seem logical at first, but they will carry a sense of rightness that you cannot ignore. And as you follow that sense, step by step, something else begins to build. Peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that exists even when things are still unfolding. A steady, grounded calm that stays with you, even in moments of uncertainty. This peace is a sign that you are no longer moving blindly. It is a confirmation that you are walking in alignment. Archangel Michael remains present in this process, but now you will begin to experience that presence differently, not just as unseen protection, but as active guidance. You may not see him physically, but you will feel the strength of his presence in your decisions, in your ability to stand firm when something does not feel right, in your confidence to walk away from what no longer serves you. This is what true protection looks like when combined with awareness. It is not just about being shielded from harm. It is about being positioned in truth. And as you continue to move in alignment, opportunities will begin to open. Not forced opportunities, not rushed ones, but doors that feel natural. Doors that align with who you are becoming. You may find yourself in conversations that bring new insight, in situations that support your growth, in environments that feel lighter, clearer, more connected. These are not coincidences. These are responses. Because when you answer the call, heaven responds in return. But understand this path is not about perfection. You will still face challenges. You will still encounter moments of doubt or uncertainty. The difference is that now, you will not face them alone or unaware. You will face them with clarity, with guidance, and with a deeper understanding of what is happening around you. And that changes everything. Because challenges no longer feel like confusion. They become part of your growth. Decisions no longer feel like guesses. They become intentional. And your life no longer feels like something that is happening to you. It becomes something you are actively participating in. This is the transformation that begins when you answer the call. It is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully aware of who you already are. There is strength within you that has not yet been fully realized. There is clarity that has been waiting to rise. There is purpose that has been quietly present, even when you could not see it clearly. And when you respond to this moment, you begin to step into all of that. Jesus is not whispering your name to lead you into uncertainty. He is calling you into alignment, into awareness, into a life that is guided rather than guessed. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, not just as a protector, but as a witness to your transformation, watching as you move from unawareness into clarity, from hesitation into decision, from being covered to becoming conscious of that covering. So if you have chosen to respond, if you have felt that shift within you, hold on to it. Because what begins here does not end here. This is the start of something deeper, something stronger, something that will continue to unfold as long as you continue to walk in alignment with what you now know. There is a truth that must be spoken clearly, not to create fear, but to bring understanding. Just as there is a path that opens when you respond, there is also a path that forms when you choose to ignore what has been revealed. And this path does not announce itself loudly. It does not immediately appear dangerous or wrong. In fact, at first, it often feels familiar, comfortable, and changing. That is what makes it deceptive. Because ignoring a divine call does not always result in immediate consequences. Life may continue as it was. The same routines, the same people, the same patterns. You may even convince yourself that nothing has changed, that what you felt was temporary, that what you heard was not as significant as it seemed. But beneath that surface, something begins to shift. Clarity starts to fade. The understanding that was beginning to rise within you becomes quieter, less certain. The sense of direction you were starting to feel begins to blur. Decisions become harder, not because they are more complex, but because the inner guidance you were beginning to recognize is no longer being followed. This is not punishment. This is disconnection. When you ignore awareness, you slowly move away from it. And as you move away, the things that once felt clear begin to lose their definition. You may start to question yourself more. You may feel unsure in situations where you once had a sense of knowing. That quiet confidence that was beginning to grow may begin to weaken. And with that, confusion begins to take its place. Archangel Michael does not disappear in this process. His presence does not vanish, but the nature of your connection to that presence changes. When you remain unaware, protection becomes limited by your own choices. Because protection is not meant to override your will, it is meant to work with it. If you choose to ignore what has been shown to you, you begin to step outside of the alignment that allows that protection to fully operate. And that is where vulnerability begins. Not immediate danger, not sudden collapse, but a gradual exposure. Situations that once would have been redirected may now unfold without interruption. People whose intentions are unclear may remain in your space longer than they should. Patterns that were trying to reveal themselves may continue, repeating without resolution. This is how misalignment works. It is not always loud. It is not always obvious. It is subtle, slow, and often disguised as normal. You may begin to feel a quiet frustration building over time. A sense that something is not quite right, even if everything appears the same. A feeling of being stuck, of moving without progress, of repeating cycles that never seem to fully resolve. That feeling is not random. It is the result of ignoring what was meant to guide you forward. Jesus does not stop calling your name when you ignore the whisper, but the tone changes. The opportunity that once felt open and immediate may begin to feel distant, not because it hath been taken away, but because it was not received when it was given. There are moments in life that are windows, openings where clarity, direction, and alignment are available in a way that is unique to that time. And when those windows are missed, they do not always remain open in the same way. This is why this moment matters. Because you are not being left without choice. You are being shown the impact of that choice. Ignoring this call does not make it disappear. It only delays what must eventually be faced. And often, when it returns, it does so with more intensity, more complexity, more consequence. Not as punishment, but as a continuation of what was left unresolved. But even in this truth, there is still hope. Because awareness, once given, does not fully disappear. It may become quieter, but it remains within you. That sense that something is off, that something needs to change, that something was shown to you, that does not leave. It waits, waiting for you to turn back toward it, waiting for you to recognize it again, waiting for you to respond, even if it is later than expected. But understand this, delay is not without cost. Time matters. Moments matter. Decisions matter. And what you do with this moment will shape what comes next. So if you feel that hesitation, that urge to ignore, that pull to return to what feels easier, pause and recognize it for what it is. It is not peace. It is avoidance. And avoidance does not lead you forward. It keeps you where you are. Jesus is still whispering your name. Not to pressure you, but to remind you that the call has not changed. The question is, will your response change? There is something your heart has been searching for, even if you could not fully explain it. A sign, a confirmation, a moment where everything becomes clear enough for you to say, "This is it." This is what I was waiting for. And now, in a way that may feel unexpected yet deeply familiar, you are standing in that very moment. This message, this exact encounter is not random. It is the sign. Not because of the words alone, but because of what is happening inside you as you hear them. That quiet stirring, that sense of recognition, that feeling that something is speaking directly to you, that is not coincidence. That is alignment. That is your spirit responding to truth. For a long time, you may have been looking outward for confirmation, waiting for something visible, something undeniable, something that removes all doubt before you take a step forward. That is natural. The human mind seeks certainty before action. But spiritual alignment does not always work that way. Sometimes, the sign does not appear outside of you first. It appears within you. A knowing that does not need proof. A clarity that does not rely on external validation. A sense that what you are experiencing right now carries meaning beyond logic. This is that kind of moment. Jesus is whispering your name not to confuse you, but to confirm something that has already been building inside you. All the moments you questioned, all the feelings you could not explain, all the times you sensed that something deeper was happening, this is where it comes together. You were not imagining it. You were not overthinking it. You were being prepared. Archangel Michael has watched this preparation unfold in your life with precision. Every delay, every redirection, every moment of protection, none of it was wasted. It was all leading you here, to a point where you are no longer searching blindly, but recognizing clearly. And recognition is powerful, because once you recognize a sign, it changes how you move. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer questioning whether you should act. You begin to move with intention, with awareness, with purpose. This is why this moment matters so deeply, because it removes the excuse of uncertainty. You have felt something. You have understood something. You have seen something. And now, you cannot say that you did not receive a sign. But here is where many people hesitate. They receive the sign and then they wait again, waiting for another confirmation, another message, another moment. But the truth is, when a sign is real, it does not need repetition to be valid. It needs response. And that is where you are now, at the point where recognition meets decision. You may feel a mix of emotions, certainty and hesitation, clarity and fear, excitement and doubt. That is normal, because stepping into something new always carries uncertainty. But remember what brought you here. Not fear, not confusion, but a clear, undeniable pull toward truth. That pull is still there, and it is not asking you to have everything figured out. It is asking you to trust what you already know, because deep within you, there is no confusion about this moment. There is only the question of whether you will act on it. Jesus is not whispering your name for you to stay where you are. He is calling you forward. Archangel Michael is not standing beside you for you to remain still. He is present to support your movement. This is your sign not to pause, but to proceed. To take what you have understood and allow it to shape your next step. To take what you have felt and let it guide your direction. To take what hath been revealed and move with it, not away from it. Because signs are not given to be collected. They are given to be followed. And right now, you are no longer searching for one. You are standing in it. So do not look away. Do not delay. Do not return to uncertainty. This is the moment you were waiting for, and what you do with it will define what comes next. Precious soul, after everything that has been revealed, after every whisper, every warning, every moment of clarity there is one truth that remains unshaken, unchanging, and deeply powerful. Mercy is still here for you. Yes, this message carried urgency. Yes, it spoke of decisions, of awareness, of things that can no longer be ignored. But do not mistake urgency for rejection. Do not confuse awakening with abandonment. Because even now, in this very moment, you are still being held within a space of grace. Jesus is not whispering your name to push you away. He is whispering because he is drawing you closer, closer to truth, closer to clarity, closer to the version of your life that was always meant for you. And even as the word final has echoed throughout this message, understand what it truly means. It is not the end of your story. It is the end of delay, the end of unawareness, the end of standing at the edge without stepping forward. And as you stand here now, you are not alone. Archangel Michael is still present, not distant, not withdrawn, but steady, watchful, and ready. His covering has not disappeared, it has transformed. It now surrounds you in a way that responds to your awareness, your choices, your alignment. You are no longer simply being protected without knowing you are being invited to walk in that protection consciously. That is a higher level of grace, a deeper form of connection, and it changes everything. Because now, you are not just receiving mercy, you are stepping into it. You are not just being guided, you are choosing to follow. You are not just being covered, you are recognizing that covering and aligning yourself with it. Take a breath in this moment. Feel the calm that is still available to you. Feel the peace that has not left you, even through all the intensity of this message. That peace is not accidental. It is the presence of divine love reminding you that even in urgency, there is care. Even in warning, there is compassion. Even in a final call, there is still an open door. Nothing about this moment is meant to break you. It is meant to awaken you. An awakening is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Because when you awaken, you begin to see your life with new eyes. You begin to understand what truly matters. You begin to move with intention, with awareness, with purpose. And that is where true peace begins, not in avoiding truth, but in living within it. Jesus is still whispering your name right now, not louder than before, but clearer. And that whisper carries an invitation that is simple, yet powerful. Come closer. Step forward. Choose alignment. And as you do, know this: no matter what hath been behind you, no matter what you did not see before, no matter how long you remained on where this moment is still yours, this embrace is still open. This mercy is still flowing. Type "I receive His mercy" in the comments if you are stepping into this final embrace. Blessing code 999 has now been released over your life. And as you receive this covering, hear this deeply. This message did not reach you by accident. It is part of a greater flow, a river of truth that is meant to reach souls who are still waiting, still searching, still standing where you once stood. And now, you have the opportunity to become part of that flow. The Lord declares, "Whoever sows generously will also reap generously," and this is being spoken over you right now as a living promise. As you feel this message settle into your spirit, let your response go beyond words. Step into action. Support this mission through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, also available through the QR code placed for you in every video. Say within yourself, "I am choosing to sow into the light that reaches others." Let that be your step of faith. As you give, I declare that heaven will respond over your life with increase, with protection, with open doors that no one can shut. What you release will not be lost. It will multiply and return in ways only God can orchestrate. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Step into this moment fully and receive not just the message but the blessing that follows it.